And now Todd Barclay.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. It's a privilege to speak on the second reading of the Geographic Indicators Wine and Spirits Registration Amendment Bill. Never ceases to amaze me how one of the more simplest of bills, such as this one, which was effectively written by industry for industry, can still almost be derailed by some sort of more marginal, arguably loose interpretations of what the bill is trying to set out to achieve by some members of the opposition. It is always entertaining, though, having a discussion, a robust discussion about the use of glyphosate, the prevalence of Monsanto in the New Zealand market and so on. But this is an important bill for the wine and spirits industry across New Zealand, and in my electorate of Clutha Southland, we are home to Central Otago Pinot Noir, among other varieties of wine, and a number of our colleagues here right across the House have pretty important industries that will benefit significantly from this. And New Zealand prides ourselves as being a premium producer on the world stage, and that's one of the things that can set us apart from many of the larger producers. We're never going to be able to produce as much wine as somewhere like the United States or key parts of Europe, but what we can do is differentiate ourselves and really put forward the quality version of our various varieties. And that's what this bill sets out to achieve. And I want to acknowledge the chairman of our select committee, Ian McKelvey, through his primary sector background outside of the wine industry, but he brought an interesting take to the select committee on this, and also Barbara Kuriger from her dairy industry and background, but also one member as well, our deputy chairperson Stuart Smith, who has spent his life working for and on behalf of the wine industry and developing this bill actually in the later stages of his time as chair of the New Zealand Wine Growers Association. So it was really good to have him on the committee to be able to engage with industry and be able to get this into a good position. And I think it's quite unique really. Our committee, the Primary Production Committee, considers we don't consider much legislation, but the legislation that we do consider is generally actually prepared by the industry itself, which is going to benefit most significantly from it. So that's part of our role in government, I think, is that we need to be able to do our best to enable, support and protect industries as they produce and export onto the world stage. So it's a real privilege to be able to assist them through our roles as members of Parliament to give them greater protection in that space, Mr Speaker, despite the fact that Mr Pross is mentioning some more marginal aspects such as some geographical or cultural indicators outside of the wine industry. But it was fascinating to hear anyway, Mr Speaker. But that's the main point, I think, that I just wanted to mention was really on behalf of, I've got a small wine region in my electorate, but there are a growing number of wine regions across the country, and each and every one of them are becoming more and more aware of the need to have that level of protection to protect their premium brand that they invest so much in. So it's a real privilege to be able to speak in support of this bill. Thank you.
The next